Hey girls, I hate that Wednesdays have been the day where bad storms have happened and things have just been crazy. But I wanted to challenge you girls to read 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 13 through 22. Now we left off with there was a struggle, and I don't know if you watched the last video or sorry, my hair's wild today, this weather, but we left off where there was a power struggle between Solomon and Adonijah. And Adonijah and Solomon were both sons of David, except Adonijah was the son of David and Haggith, because remember, they had multiple wives during this time. And Bathsheba and David had Solomon, and Solomon was the wisest, and richest man that would ever lived. And David placed Solomon on the throne. And Adonijah did not like that. And so what happens here is there's a struggle. And Adonijah tried to once go behind, conspire, and go back behind Solomon's back and take the throne. And Solomon spared his life. Okay, and so we leave off there. Okay, so I'm going to read these verses and then I'm going to break it down with some questions. So it says, now Adonijah, the son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, do you come peacefully? And he said, peacefully. Then he said, I have something to say to you. And she said, speak. Now she had asked, do you come peacefully? Because she wanted to know if he'd let his hard feelings die. Now, have you ever had a conversation with someone and you don't really trust them because of past experiences, and you ask them, hey, are we good? And they go, yeah, we're great. I have. Now, Bathsheba is very trusting and she's doing the right thing, but Adonijah is not being truthful. He's going, we're good. I come in peace. And then he's going to ask Bathsheba to do something that is not good. And he said, you know that the kingdom was mine and that all of Israel expected me to be king. However, the kingdom has turned about and become my brother's, for it's from the Lord. Now I'm making one request for you. Do not refuse me. And she said, speak. Then he said, please speak to Solomon the king, for he will not refuse you, that he may give me Abishag the Sunamite as a wife. And Bathsheba said, very well, I will speak to the king for you. So right here he's being sneaky. He knows that if he goes to Bathsheba, she's not going to refuse him because one, she's a woman, and two, she's saying that he's coming in peace. So she's taking his word for it when she probably knows that he's not coming in peace. Now, Abishag was the woman, remember, let's go back to chapter 1, and she was the woman who was in basically the hot water heater, or the heater for David as he was dying. She laid in the bed and she provided warmth for him. Now, theologians will say that there was no relationship there between Abishag and David, but I don't know. I think that's a little, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just thinking if you're in the bed with somebody 24/7 and you're opposite sex, there's probably something going on there. And why would Adonijah want Abishag, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because if somebody were to take a former concubine, which means a person that had relationship with the king as a woman, then it would be like they were already king. So that's how they would do in the back day. That was ritualistic. If you were to have a relationship with a concubine of a former king, then that means that you had kind of rights to the throne. So Adonijah here is scheming yet again. Even though he said he's let it die, even though he said he's coming peacefully, he's lying. He's not being truthful. And you're going, what a terrible person. But haven't we all done this? Where we've said we forgive somebody or we let things go, and then when we see an opportunity, we get upset about the same thing, or we use another person to get what we want. Or maybe you girls use a parent to get to another parent to get what you want. See, this is what Adonijah is doing right now. He's using his relationship with Bathsheba to get to Solomon. And I'm going to tell you, Solomon does not respond well. So Bathsheba goes to the king. So Bathsheba went to Solomon to speak to him for Adonijah. And the king arose to meet her and bowed before him, because that's his mom. And he sat on the throne, and he had a throne set for the king's mother, and she sat on his right, which you know that shows power, because Jesus says that we sit at his right hand when we're in heaven. Then he said, I'm making one small request of you, and do not refuse me. So she's using the same words that Adonijah said, just like he told her. She's being obedient, even though it's wrong. He says, ask my mother, for not refuse you. She said, let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah your brother as a wife. And King Solomon is very smart. Remember, he's the wisest of the wise. Sees right through this. And he says, and why are you asking Abishag the Shunamite for Adonijah? Ask for him. Also, he's like, are you going to ask for him also the kingdom? For he is my older brother. Even for him, the Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. And now all of these people were very important to David. The priest was like a chaplain. He was somebody that was very close to the king and gave him wise counsel according to scripture and things to do with the Lord. And Joab was a very close person to David as well. He said, then King Solomon swore by the Lord, saying, may God do so to me and more also, if Adonijah has not spoken this word against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord lives, who has established me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who has also made me a house as he promised, surely an Adonijah shall be put to death today. So King Solomon sent Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him so that he would die. And then Abiathar the priest, he also says, you should deserve to die too, but you're not going to. So Adonijah didn't only get himself killed. Now, this is what we call guilty by association, which means when you run in these circles with people who are not good, sometimes you're gonna be guilty because they are. That doesn't mean that you did the act, but when you hang out with people who do things that are not right, in South Carolina they call that the law of the hand in the hand. Doesn't matter if you weren't the one actually doing or committing the crime, you were still there. And if you didn't report it, you were just as guilty. And scripture is saying this to be true here. He's saying, even though they didn't go to Bathsheba and ask for the hand, they still ran around with Adonijah. And so they were just as guilty. And so Solomon is very prudent because he knows that none of these people can be trusted, because what he knows is that Adonijah is going to try to go through Joab. He's going to try to go through Abiathar. He's going to try to go through all of these people to get, he's going to try to get the throne. That's what he wants. He wants more than anything the throne, and he doesn't care who he hurts, and he doesn't care what he does to get it. He just wants it. So Solomon wipes them out, and he knows now that he has the throne and he's doing his duty. So that's my lesson. But here is something that I want you girls to think about. Have you ever stopped to think about maybe how Bathsheba felt in this moment? You know, maybe if she wouldn't have gone and asked, then all these people would be living. Do you think she felt guilty? Do you think she felt used by Adonijah? Or do you think she knew how all of these things were going to come in play and what Solomon was going to do? For in fact, it was her son. And how smart and prudent was she? She did what she was obedient, and in her obedience, God took care of her. Now, Solomon wasn't mad at his mom because he saw what was going on here. And I think this is the biggest takeaway that I want you girls to know. Sometimes people do things with really bad motives. And it may be done to you, but there's a phrase that says don't shoot the messenger. And what that means is Bathsheba was the messenger in this moment. She was the one going and asking for the thing. And sometimes we blow up at that person and get mad at that person when really we need to stop and look and go, what's going on here? Maybe somebody does something to you that's hurtful and you just can't get over it. But have you ever stopped to think about why they did it? What was causing it, what they were walking through, maybe in their season of life? Or have we ever stopped to really look and go, maybe they were trying to ask for help and they just didn't know how? Maybe they were trying, and now I'm not saying every bad response causes for this, but 9 times out of 10, when someone is hurting, they want to hurt another person. And scripture says that we have to turn the other cheek. And we have to show love and forgiveness. That doesn't mean you let them walk all over you. That doesn't mean that you just over and over again, they hurt you. But you can put up a boundary and you can say, hey, you're not going to hurt me. Are you trying to hurt me? Is that what you want to do? Is you want to hurt me? And often they'll go, no, I don't want to hurt you. And say, well, your actions are hurting me right now. And we can have a conversation about this, but I want you to understand that what you're doing and how you're acting is hurting me right now. You want to talk about what's making you hurt and why you want to hurt somebody else? Because hurt people hurt people. So that's a little psychology lesson for you girls today. I miss y'all so much. Maybe we can hop on later this week, but I love y'all and have a good week.